Hello everyone. Tonight we have the Irish Government guillotining through the criminal justice hate crime, hate speech legislation, which will have serious attacks on our basic freedom of expression here in Ireland. We've seen the government guillotine through this without any democratic involvement. The debate is due to only last up to 90 minutes and will have huge ramifications for our freedom of speech in Irish society. If you line a lot of the stuff the Irish government have done over the last number of years up, you can see what's happening. You can follow the EU Digital Services Act, which will have huge restrictions on our basic freedom of expression and criminalise dissent. You see issues when they're talking about misinformation and disinformation, when they're the ones purveying so much misinformation and disinformation. And also you can see so much being pushed with the Commission Amán, the new Truth Ministry that has its location in Leafy, Shelburne Road and Dublin 4, that his role will be to suppress anything that goes against the establishment's narrative. In any democracy, it's vitally important to have people speaking out, to have people criticising policies, whatever side you choose to be on. But it's very important now, more than ever, that people contact their public representatives and TDs and say no to this hate speech, hate crime legislation that they're proposing and trying to slide in through the back door a number of weeks before an election. And already there is jurisdiction within the current legislation in terms of the Public Order Act of 1994. There's a Non-Fatal Offences versus the Person Act of 1997. There's the Incitement to Hatred Act in 1989. And there's an Aggravated Hate Offences Criminal Act back in 1991, that could rather deal with these issues as well. But of course, the Irish government want to push their narrative, want to push their nonsense down the throat of ordinary people. And it's more sinister than that, because you can see exactly what's happening. And once they open the door, it's just going to come harder and harder and harder on ordinary people. You've seen that over the last number of years in Ireland, where they're undermining so much of our social fabric of Irish society. We've seen it through the family structure being undermined. We've seen how out of touch the Irish political establishment were with the referendum and trying to take mother from the Constitution, notwithstanding the impacts it would have had on carers as well, which they deliberately lied about. And again, it cost €23 million plus out of our public money for all of us to send a resounding no to those nonsensical referenda. But it's important now more than ever to stand up against what they're really standing for. So many people will be distracted, but as I said, the big issue is what's happening in front of our eyes. And it is time now, today, to get on, contact all your TDs and say no to this criminal justice, hate crimes, hate offences legislation, because so much has been eroded in Irish society. So many of our values, so many of our cultures, so much of our basic morality in Irish society has been undermined by the political establishment, who are more driven on materialism and individualism and forcing more and more draconian policies on ordinary people rather than having what's good for society. And in a society and in a democracy, it is critically important for people to speak out and not be offended by what people say. That's critically important, not to be silenced, not to be censored, not to be criminalised for having a point of view. This is urgent that people contact your TDs and put pressure on this political establishment, because we need a radical shift in Ireland that will put decency, put our values at the heart of what Ireland should be, instead of this nonsense globalist agenda that's having huge ramifications on our society over the next number of years. So thanks for the support, and please contact your TDs, because this debate is due to be held tonight, about 9-10 p.m. tonight. So contact your TDs and say no to this hate offences, hate speech bill. Take care.